Master Brand Cabinets will soon be expanding its Ferdinand location. More on what the town council decided last night. Plus, the city of Huntingburg is looking at the possibility of trash pickup, what was discussed at last night's council meeting, and District 63 State Representative Mark Messmer is tonight's guest on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin this evening with expansion coming to the Ferdinand plant location for Master Brand Cabinets. Last night, the Ferdinand Town Council formally approved tax abatements for one of the community's top employers. WJTS's Carrie Schneider was at the meeting and has more.
The council allowed the abatement for Master Brand Cabinets. The company plans to expand their Ferdinand production facility and add $1.1 million in new equipment. The tax abatement entails a scoring process depending on what the company plans to bring into the community as far as the assessed value of equipment. Also taken into consideration, of course, is the amount of jobs that are being created as well. Company officials say the expansion would provide an estimated 135 jobs with pay scales ranging from $11 to $14 an hour, with some higher-level positions paying as much as $21 an hour. With the abatement in place and Master Brand planning their improvements, Ferdinand Town Council President Ken Seacard says the plan is big news for the community and its economy.
The biggest thing is brings in immediately 135 workers by June of 2014, and that's people that will come in, go to our stores, go to the different gas stations and stuff like that. When they start working, we'll get the income tax, our portion of the income tax, and the COIT taxes and things along those lines are coming in. Yes, we're not getting the personal business property tax at this time, but the other people are here, so there's some benefits. If they weren't coming, they could have easily gone to another state. We wouldn't have had any of that. So initially we'll get, some money from other taxes, and then eventually, I think it's like 7 years down the road, we start getting that personal business property tax into town.
The tax abatements will take effect after the council's next regular meeting, slated for Tuesday, February 11th. During that meeting, the council will open the floor for a public hearing on the issue at 8 p.m.
Now, Master Brand asked for the abatements to be completed as soon as possible so that they can move forward on the expansion. Company officials say they hope to have the project completed by June 1st. Turning to other news this evening, residents of one local city will soon have an opportunity to voice their opinion on citywide trash service. Last night, the Huntingburg City Council announced that the city will be issuing a survey in order to gauge the community's interest in having a citywide curbside trash pickup service. The surveys will be included in the upcoming February utility bills. Under the proposal, weekly trash pickup with bi-weekly recycling service would be instituted in the city. Each household in the city would get two 96-gallon dumpsters. One of those would be for trash and the other would be for recycling. Spring and fall cleanup week services would continue even with the new program. Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spenner says any program that might be instituted would have to be feasible.
It's got to be something that is fair and equitable for our customers. But also, I think from a public cleanup perspective, having a unified service like this would have a definite impact on the cleanliness of the city. It would be both trash and recycling, and so the opportunity to really make an impact on our waste situation in the community would be I think you can't measure that yet.
The survey, which the city put together in partnership with the University of Southern Indiana's Center for Applied Research and Economic Development, is completely voluntary for residents to participate in. It takes less than 10 minutes to complete, and city officials say they will not be tracking participant information in any way. Also last night, the council heard from residents concerning unusually high water bills. One couple who spoke told the council that their most recent bill was 10 times higher than what it normally is. The cause? An underground leak that went undetected until after the bill came. Now, currently, the state of Indiana allows cities to provide relief on unusually high utility bills when the problem is underground and impossible for the landowners to notice until a bill is delivered. The city of Huntingburg, however, currently does not have a policy on this issue for the water utilities. Spenner says the city will look at an ordinance to resolve this problem.
This would give us a procedure to follow should someone have an extremely high water bill due to an equipment problem or a line break, that we could address that issue in a reasonable way and in a uniform way across the board should these incidents happen again.
Finally, last night, the council heard a presentation from Dr. Alan Johnson about the future of Du Bois Strong. Johnson touched on several different issues in his speech, and he says the county's low unemployment rate has caught a lot of attention, particularly that of Ball State professor Tom Lehman, who spoke at WJTS late last year.
And he went looking through our data and was astounded at our labor force participation rate. That means the percent of people who are working force or who are working age, who are in the workforce. We're up at about 70%, he said, which is astoundingly high. Not only is it number one in the state of Indiana, Professor Lehman has done research in 10 states, 601 rural counties, non-metropolitan counties. Out of that 601 in labor force participation, Du Bois County is number 20. So we rank high not only in Indiana, but in a 10-state region on that.
The speech also pointed to the next 3-year plan for Du Bois Strong. This includes growth, specifically in the workforce, business, and entrepreneurial sectors. Johnson gave a similar speech at the Jasper City Council meeting back on Wednesday evening. Finally this evening, one community, one mission, many hats. That was the rallying cry for one local county's future. Last night, the Spencer County Regional Chamber of Commerce held their annual dinner in the celebration room of the Santa's Lodge in Santa Claus. The night marked the appointment of new officers for this upcoming year. Jeff Hilgenhold, who represents Southern Indiana Power, will be serving as the new board president, while Kyle Canarium, representing German American Bank, will be the new vice president. During a brief speech, Hilgenhold touched on both the need to attract more residents to the county and keeping the money local. On the first point, Hilgenhold says attracting the younger generation to the county is very important.
We've been looking at ways of bringing in, basically like Gene Steinkamp likes to say, putting the heads in beds, and that's a big chore for a lot of rural communities. And so the way that people are looking at doing that is trying to create a better place of better communities. Places where younger people want to come in and spend their times.
As for keeping the money local, Hilgenhold says the chamber added a new incentive this past year in the form of certificates. These certificates, which are known as chamber bucks, were designed as a way to keep people in the community through incentives.
What we hope to happen is that local industry would possibly pick these up and use them as incentives to their employees, whether it be a safety incentive, employee of the month, those kind of things. So because we've got some big industry that hire a lot of local people, and if they could give those incentives out in those certificates, we know those certificates will be spent back in the community.
Last night's meeting also marked the final one for outgoing Chamber Board President Dan Reininger, who represents Reininger Consulting. Reininger says though some of his goals may not have been achievable, he's proud of the things that did get accomplished.
What I ended up doing was making sure that we were fiscally sound, that we kept our membership in line, which is something that is happening all around. Where membership is dropping off, we was able at least to maintain what we had. We're able to pay the bills. We're working with LEDC on some projects and did so this year as well. So I feel very good about how the year went and ended up.
Last night's keynote speaker was Susan Fowler, who kept the crowd entertained with many different hats in keeping with the theme of the night. Finally, last night, the Chamber handed out several major awards for 2013. The biggest of those was the 2013 Legacy Award. That award was presented to the family of the late Phil Cook. Cook passed away on April 9th of last year after being in the hospital for just over a week after he suffered cardiac arrest. Cook was 47 years old at the time of his passing. In other awards, Shum Monuments of Dale was named as the Business of the Year. St. Henry-based Steckler Grass-Fed Farms was the Member of the Year. Incoming Chamber President Hilgenhold was named as Board Member of the Year. And the Ambassador of the Year award was presented to Doris Frakes, who serves with the Spencer County Fair. On a programming note, last night's Chamber Dinner can be seen in its entirety here on 18 WJTS this upcoming Monday evening at 7:30 p.m. following our regular evening newscast. All right, coming up after the break, your local forecast, sports with Kurt Gooksell, and Inform with District 63 State Representative Mark Messmer. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.